Alright, so we're going to be installing this custom Grip Royal steering wheel into a 1990 300ZX. Shout out to Brom, the racing seats with the steering wheel to match. So this install is going to be very specific to the 1990 Z32 platform because it doesn't come with an airbag. So other Zs after that came with airbags, and the install and the demo of the steering wheel is going to be a little bit different. So what you're going to find on the back of this steering wheel is our screw right there. And it's a little Phillips. You could probably use a number 1. I used a number 2. You do not have to take this bottom trim piece off. You do not have to take this steering wheel column trim piece off. Just that one screw, and that gets you access to the steering wheel. So I already disconnected that connector there. So that's just gonna come off right there. So then you're gonna take socket, remove that nut. So that nut in the center of the steering wheel is 19 millimeter. I have this adjustable angle ratchet, so I'm not scraping against the old steering wheel as I remove this. I just hold on to the steering wheel, use this ratchet and just crack it loose, and then you can thread it off by hand. Another thing what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to leave that nut screwed on. So you're going to get it almost all the way off, leave a couple turns on it, and you're going to sit in the seat and you're going to yank that steering wheel right towards you. So that nut being on there is going to prevent the steering wheel from hitting you in the face. So you just thread that off once you get it loosened, and the steering wheel is just going to come right off. And that's what you're left with. So now that you have the steering wheel off, you can take your short hub. For NRG, the part number is 140H. So that's going to be your number. There you can see a white dot there. That's going to be your top. And you're going to want that centered. And then you just bolt on your 19 millimeter nut. And you get that tight and torque it to spec. I don't know what the torque number is off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. So now that you have the short hub bolted on, you can take the one part of the quick release and bolt that on. So you want to make sure that the NRG logo lines up with the other NRG logo, or the white dot that's on top. Also, you can connect your horn and push the cables inside and make sure they're not smashed. So I got kind of dark, so I went and grabbed a light. So now that you got the one side of the quick release attached, you have your other side of your quick release, and you're going to take your Grip Royal spacer adapter, and you're going to thread the long screws into the quick release and mount it to that, so you can line up the logos together. And then also, what this does is basically takes the Grip Royal pattern and adapts it to other steering wheel bolt patterns. That way it sits straight with all the rest of the logos. So it's not necessary, you don't have to have that, but if you want all of your logos straight, you don't want your steering wheel cocked to the side a little bit, then I recommend the spacer kit. So it also has these longer screws that account for the extra distance and the extra space for the threads, so you have plenty of threads inside. So the quick release can just pop on just like that, and then easily removed. So this is how it looks with the logos all lined up. So just kind of matches everything up. It's all turned right now because when I torqued the center nut on the steering wheel, it did turn the actual steering rack, and it kind of locked it. So until I get the steering wheel on there and I can twist it and unlock it with the key, it's just gonna be in this kind of twisted orientation for right now. So I take back what I said about using the longer screws. You're actually going to want to use the shorter screws in the part of the spacer that actually connects it to the quick release. That way you can still thread the shorter screws in from the steering wheel to the spacer, because if you use the longer screws, they're going to bottom out. And that is our end result. So I got these red colored screws off of Amazon. They're like 10 or 12 bucks. I did have to trim them down because, as I noted before, it does bottom out on the spacer. Normally, if you didn't have that spacer, you wouldn't have an issue with it. But I did end up cutting them down just a touch. But I think it all works out really well. So the white steering wheel, white seats, white quick release, red custom Z32 engraved with the red screws. And that's it. Thanks for watching.